Good Friday evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Habiba Saripao-Dap.
And I'm Joe Fernandez. We are from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to
Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. leads the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas campaign rally in Bulacan. The palace defends the more straightforward approach of the chief executive to criticisms hurled against the government. The lower house forms an impeachment secretariat that will help prosecutors in handling concerns about the impeachment proceedings. The Commission on Elections or COMELEC's preparations for the upcoming midterm polls is still on track despite the many challenges the poll body faced. Bulacanos warmly welcome President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and the administration's senatorial candidates under the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas during a campaign rally in Barangay Minuyan, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Leading the event, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. stressed the strong track record of the senatorial candidates and highlighted their extensive experience in public service. The chief executive noted that 8 of the candidates have previously served in the Senate, 7 were former representatives, and 4 held cabinet positions. The president also underscored that the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas is committed to action, not just promises. During the event, each candidate represented their platforms focusing on key issues such as education, food security, national security, and poverty alleviation. This marks the senatorial slate's first stop in Central Luzon and the 7th campaign rally, with more stops expected across the country in the coming days. Meanwhile, the palace has defended President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. against criticism over his assertive campaign approach for Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas coalition for the 2025 midterm elections. The palace also said that the president's strong remarks are not baseless but grounded on legitimate data. PTV's Kenneth Paciente has details.
It's election season, which means candidates are using their own strategies to woo voters. And in times like this, mudslinging between candidates are unavoidable. As the president tours alongside the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas coalition, the administration's bet for the 2025 elections, it has become noticeable that his campaigning has taken on a more assertive approach. The palace defended this move. According to Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, while the president may have made strong remarks, they were not baseless. Rather, they were based on legitimate data.
Tandaan natin, kung mapapansin ninyo at kung matatandaan ninyo, ang mga binanggit sa una kick-off rally ng Pangulo ay naaayon naman sa records. Naaayon naman sa pangyayari. Hindi po ba karapat-dapat din na sumagot ang Pangulo na naaayon din naman po sa kanyang mga records, sa kanyang mga naobserbahan.
Castro further argued that the president cannot simply accept criticism from the opposing side without responding. Instead, he must stand by his principles for the good of the Filipino people.
Karapatan din po ng Pangulo na magsalita kung ano po yung kanyang damdamin. Ito naman din po ay para mapakita sa tao kung ano ba yung katotohanan. Mahirap po na yung isang party lang ang sumusuntok. Kailangan din po tayong sumangga.
Malacanang also pointed out that during the campaign rallies of the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, it is the candidates themselves who present their platforms. However, at times, the president simply becomes straightforward in expressing his sentiments.
Kailangan lang po talaga paminsan-minsan ang ating Pangulo ay maging transparent din siya sa kanyang nasa loobin at para po maipahatid din sa mga tao na he is not and will never be a weak leader.
In connection with this, the palace condemned Vice President Sara Duterte's statement at a rally where she said that the people have the right to be angry at the government. Castro stated that the country's second highest official should not encourage public resentment against the government. Instead, she said it would be better to work together to move the nation forward.
Siya bilang Vice President, mas maganda po sana kung siya ay mag-i-encourage sa mga tao na makipagtulungan na lang instead of having this feeling of hatred against the government. Mas maganda po na sabay-sabay sana tayong umangat kesa sa may mga ibang tao na gusto magpabagsak ng gobyerno.
But is this part of a destabilization plot against the current administration?
Wala tayong formal na impormasyon na may destabilization, but mapapansin po natin sa kanilang mga statements kapag sila'y nagrarally, nag-uudyok sila ng galit, nag-uudyok sila sa mga tao na ito ang paniwalaan dahil ang gobyerno ngayon ay abusive at excessive. Doon pa lamang po ay makikita natin, mararamdaman natin kung saan sila papunta.
From PTV Manila, Kenneth Pasyente, Balitang Pambansa.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. greeted the Islamic community observing Ramadan. The chief executive highlighted that this is an opportunity to reflect deeply on our purpose and show kindness to those in need. The president highlighted that through discipline and gratitude, this sacred celebration becomes a path to societal change. Fasting, prayer, and charitable acts demonstrate the spirit of unity, strengthening our connection with others. He encouraged the Islamic community to find strength in humility and live with sincere faith, expressing hope that these values will guide everyone towards collective progress and the light of hope for all. Meanwhile, Malacanang assured that they are ready to comply with any decision from the Supreme Court or SC regarding the PhilHealth funds. According to PCO Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, the government is waiting for the High Court's final ruling regarding the matter. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. guaranteed that PhilHealth services will not be affected by the zero subsidy policy. She underscored that if the SC orders the restoration of government subsidies, they will fully comply with the decision.
In other news, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is focused on addressing the rising prices of rice and finding solutions to bring them down. He is investigating the root causes of the rice spikes and is determined to hold smugglers and hoarders accountable for manipulating prices. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, has declared a food security emergency for rice and announced a reduction in the maximum suggested retail price to 49 pesos per kilo starting March 1. The chief executive is pushing for a unified approach and new policies to stabilize food prices and protect consumers. He remains committed to ensuring food security and making rice more affordable for all Filipinos.
The House of Representatives has formed an impeachment secretariat to assist public prosecutors by providing technical and administrative support in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. House Secretary General Reginald Velasco formalized the establishment of the impeachment secretariat and highlighted its role in ensuring a smooth and efficient trial process. Our PTV's Melalis Moras tells us more.
Several lawmakers lauded the creation of House Impeachment Secretariat, which will provide technical and administrative support to public prosecutors handling the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Under the newest memorandum order issued by House Secretary General Reginald Velasco, several units of the lower house were tasked to handle legal research, records management, stenographic transcription, information technology, security, and administrative coordination. According to Secgen Velasco, the House Impeachment Secretariat will ensure the orderly conduct of the impeachment trial, especially on the part of the prosecution panel. According to House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability Chair Representative Joel Chua, one of the designated prosecutors of the House,
ito po mga binubuo po na team composition na ginagawa sa House ay malaki pong tulong para po sa mga House Prosecution Panel dahil ito ay magsisilbing mga kasama namin dito, lalong-lalo na sa mga research, sa mga legal research, mga paghahanda at sa kung ano-ano pa. Kaya malaking bagay po ito para sa amin.
As of now, more groups have joined the call for the immediate start of the impeachment trial on the Vice President. In a statement from Caritas Philippines, the social action arm of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, they emphasized that the trial should proceed immediately as it is a matter of national concern. Chua agrees with this, pointing out that delaying the trial could put their witnesses and evidence at risk.
Kami naman po kasi, kaya naman po namin gusto na ito pong impeachment ay masimulan na. Dahil alam po ninyo, siyempre tinitignan din po namin yung mga ebidensya na nakalaka po namin, yung tampering of evidence. Isa po yan. Pangalawa po, yung mga testigo po natin, siyempre alam po natin, baka mamaya pag tumatagal, medyo marami po dyan ang matakot. Habang tumatagal po ang trial, ang pagsisimula ng impeachment, nanganganib po yung mga ebidensya po namin at yung mga testigo po namin.
From PTV, Melales Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, remains on track with its preparations for the 2025 midterm elections in May. With just over 2 months left before the polls, the poll body is focused on finalizing key logistical and operational aspects to ensure a smooth and orderly electoral process. Our PTV's Harley Balbuena has details.
The Commission on Elections stays on track on its preparations more than 2 months before the 2025 midterm elections in May. The COMELEC already printed 48.9 million out of the total 68.54 million ballots to be produced. It also sets the 1.5 million printed ballots quota per day, and the printing is expected to be completed in mid-March. On the report of the Special Backlash Task Force, it has already removed 124,365 campaign posters which violated the rules on campaigning. The poll body was also able to convince different survey organizations to register so they can be subject to regulation. This is to avoid the candidates' possible irregular use of surveys in their campaign.
They committed to submit to us sino ang nagbayad, sino ang nagpa-commission, ano ang scientific method na ginamit, paano kinuha ang mga respondents, at in such other informations na kailangan po natin para naman walang makaligtas sa ating pong statement of contributions and expenditures.
On the BARMM parliamentary elections, which was postponed to October, the COMELEC plans to start the filing of certificate of candidacy on June and allot 10 days for the voters' registration either July or August. Also earlier today, the COMELEC filed a complaint at the Manila Prosecutor's Office against Attorney Jerry Harold Respicio, a vice mayoralty candidate in Isabela, for the alleged violation of Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 due to a video he released wherein he shows he can manipulate vote counting machines.
Maliban sa misinformation, napakamapangarib po ito sapagkat isipin nyo, ngayon palang kinukondisyon ang isip ng sambayanan na pwedeng gawa ng paraan ang ating pong halalan.
The local candidate will also face a disqualification case, disbarment case, and possible revocation of his PRC license, since it was discovered that he is also a certified public accountant. Meanwhile, a pledge of commitment was also signed today at the COMELEC headquarters in Manila to strengthen the campaign against misinformation and disinformation through the partnership of the Task Force KKK of COMELEC, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Philippine National Police, National Telecommunications Commission, and several election watchdogs and educational institutions. From PTV Manila, Harley Balbuena for Balitang Pambansa.
2 years after the MT Princess Empress oil spill, Pola, Oriental Mindoro has recovered, with thousands of fisher folk and tourism workers going back to earning a living through their respective crafts. Around 32,000 individuals have received compensation, though some claim their payouts were insufficient. The local government of Pola and the Department of Justice, or DOJ, are working with the International Oil Pollution Compensation, or IOPC, to reassess claims, with payouts continuing until 2026. Pola is also seeking national help to stop illegal oil tankers and smuggling in their waters.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay si Mr. Nelson Uloy ng Barangay Luer Maculan, Lexibo, South Cotabato. Ako po ay 26 na taon na nagsasaka sa 3 hektaryang lupang ipinagkaloob sa akin ng DARA. Noon ako isang tinanti lamang sa lupang aking sinasakahan. Nang dahil sa programa ng ating gobyerno, ako po ay isa sa pinakamasayang benepisaryo ng Voluntary Offer to Sale, or BOS, na nakatanggap ng collective title noong 1998 bilang katibayan na akin ang lupang aking sinasakahan. Dati pangarap ko lamang na magkaroon ng sariling titulong na matatawag na akin. Ngayon, abot kamay ko na ito. Isa ito sa mga pangarap ko sa buhay na magkaroon ng sariling sakahan. Salamat sa Split Project. Ngayon, hawak ko na ang aking titulong minimiti na ako lamang ang mag-isang nakasulat dito. Mabuhay, mabuhay ang programang Agrarian dahil may titulo na ako at wala na itong utang sa bangko. Taos puso kong pinapasalamatan ang ating mahal na Presidente Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos at sa ahensya ng DAR na pinangunahan ni Secretary Conrado M. Estrella III. Mangako po ako na pangalagaan at pagyamanin ang lupang nagkaloob sa akin ng ating gobyerno. Sa muli, maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat and God bless us all.
Back on Balitang Pambansa, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, and the Department of Justice, or DOJ, held a seminar in Quezon City for children and parents to promote safe and responsible online platform use. The program also taught participants ways to avoid online scams. DOJ ASEC Executive Director Dr. Barbara May Pagdila Flores highlighted the need for community involvement to protect children and equip them with the knowledge and tools to navigate the digital world safely. Meanwhile, the Japanese government is allocating 757 million yen, approximately $5 million or 290 million pesos, in assistance to enhance climate-resilient livelihoods in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM, which was formalized in a signing ceremony in Makati City on Friday. Japanese Ambassador to the Philippines, Endo Kazuya, and World Food Program, or WFP Philippines Country Director Regis Chapman formalized the project. Ambassador Endo stressed that providing accessible livelihood opportunities will help integrate communities into the peace process and foster economic participation. He also reaffirmed Japan's commitment to development initiatives in the Bangsamoro, underscoring that Mindanao's peace process is vital not only for the Philippines, but for the ASEAN region as well. The 3-year project, to be implemented by WFP Philippines, aims to directly support around 36,000 decommissioned combatants and vulnerable communities through community-based climate adaptation activities.
The Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, commits to implementing reforms aimed at ensuring the Philippines' removal from the Financial Action Task Force's gray list. Meanwhile, Korea Electric Power Company, or KEPCO, continues to express interest in the Philippine market, exploring potential investments in renewable energy, nuclear energy, and smart grid technology. These and more in tonight's Business Wrap by the Philippine News Agency.
Moving to business, the Securities and Exchange Commission vows to roll out reforms that will keep the Philippines out of the Financial Action Task Force's gray list, or countries with deficiencies in their measures on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. Among these reforms are the Project Harbor, or Hierarchical Applicable Relations and Beneficial Ownership Registry, the expanded non-profit organization outreach, the drafting of new rules on crypto asset service providers, and the strengthening of its enforcement capabilities. SEC Chair Emilio Aquino said the Philippines is preparing for another mutual assessment of its AML-CFT standards in the next 2 years. He said continued vigilance, policy enhancements, and effective enforcement will ensure that the Philippines remains a reliable and competitive financial hub in the region. Meanwhile, Korea Electric Power Company has expressed interest in exploring opportunities in renewable energy, nuclear energy, and smart grid in the country. The Department of Energy said that KEPCO President Kim Dong-chol reaffirmed in a meeting with Secretary Rafael Lotilla their commitment to invest in the Philippine energy sector. Kim shared Korea's highly stable power grid made possible by its intelligent digital power management system using artificial intelligence that enhances efficiency, optimizes grid operations, and swiftly detects the response to potential issues. Lotilla said KEPCO's interest in further exploring the Philippine energy market will help the government achieve its goal of energy security and sustainability. He thanked KEPCO for its efforts to share best practices that can enhance the efficiency and reliability of the country's own power grid. That's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Wilnard Basilonia for Balitang Pambansa.
1 billion rising drive of the members and partners of the UGSAD Regional Gender Resource Network in Western Visayas calls for action to end gender-based violence. April Grace Padilla of PIA Western Visayas has the details.
One with the world in fighting against gender-based violence, the members and partners of the UGSAD Regional Gender Resource Network in Western Visayas joined the 1 Billion Rising campaign in Iloilo City. According to West Visayas State University GAD Director Dr. Jeanette Simpas, UGSAD is a Hiligaynon term for full moon, and in the Philippine lore, women are the moon, men the sun, and children the stars. Aside from illumination, the moon also represents the struggles of women, carrying hope that one day we would be able to reach a gender-fair society.
So this campaign is more than a call to action. It's a global outcry demanding justice, safety, and dignity for women, gender-expansive people, and marginalized communities.
With this, through the dance campaign, the community strives to express its determination to create a new kind of consciousness, one where violence will be resisted until it is unthinkable. Some of the key partners expressed their support in the biggest mass action to end violence against women and girls.
For us to truly rise together, we need, as a community, to cooperate, to stand for the values of dignity, respect, inclusion, human rights, care, and above all, love. And in behalf of our office, the Commission on Human Rights here in Region 6, headed by Attorney Johnny L. Dabuk, and mandated by Republic Act 9710 as the Gender Ombud of the Republic of the Philippines, we will continue. And we commit in solidarity with each one of you that together we will fight to ensure that the rights of our women, of our girls, will always be upheld.
The annual activity aims to show the local communities and the world what 1 billion looks like and shed light on the rampant impunity and injustice survivors often face. From PIA Western Visayas, April Grace Padilla for Balitang Pambansa.
More news on the Visayas. The National Commission on Senior Citizens Regional Office 8 distributed cash gifts to senior citizens in Tacloban City. Alit Reyes of the Philippine Information Agency Leyte has more.
32 senior citizens from Tacloban City received for the first time their cash gift from the National Commission on Senior Citizens Regional Office 8, some receiving their amount in joyful tears, others with common poise. Florilis Minzon, head of the Tacloban Office of the Senior Citizens Affair, said Expanded Centenarians Act of 2024 was a very welcome development for the senior citizens of the city, and that a cash gift has even become an inspiration to keep a healthy lifestyle in order to reach the required age.
They were so happy. You can just imagine the happiness that they felt because this is the first time. That was the first time that the octogenarian law was implemented.
Meanwhile, Florilis Lugnasen, the octogenarian beneficiary of the cash gift, who has been living alone for many years now in her humble home in Otap Village, Tacloban City, was tearful when she opened her envelope containing her assistance in cash, together with a certificate, a token for her resilience and enduring legacy and support for her well-being.
Ada sana ipadayon. Matanan ni senior makataganda. Maabutin 80, 90, 85, so kaya ito nga ito ha, 100.
In Eastern Visayas, older persons comprise 6.5% of the total population, which is considered as nearing the threshold for an aging population, a demographic shift that a government should be prepared for.
From the Philippine Information Agency, Leyte, Ulat Bayan, Balitang Pambansa.
The Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, and the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, or OPA-PRU, are eyeing to transform former Moro Islamic Liberation Front camps in central Mindanao into thriving communities. Shahana Duerme Mangasa of Philippine Information Agency, Sergeant, has the details.
The Department of Science and Technology and the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity plan to transform the Moro Islamic Liberation Front former camps in central Mindanao into thriving communities. The Empowering Former Combatants and Families in 6 acknowledged MILF camps in Mindanao through Science and Technology project was signed between the DOST and OPA-PRU in late 2024 and will be realized through the Community Empowerment through Science and Technology program of the DOST.
No, ang vision natin dito is makikita natin na in the years to come, ito ay maging ma-completely transform, mabigyan natin livelihood mga tao dito na maging sustainable.
Consequently, the DOST together with the OPA-PRU and the Joint Task Force for Camp Transformation of the MILF has recently conducted a series of technology needs assessments for the MILF camps. These camps include Camp Bader in the Talpandan, Gindulungan, Maguindanao del Sur, Camp Abubakar in Barangay Sapad, Matanog, Maguindanao del Norte, Camp Omar in Sanyag, Ampatuan, Maguindanao del Sur, Camp Rajamuda in Daladagan, Magudadatu, Maguindanao del Sur, Camp Bushra in Sandap, Butig, Lanao del Sur, and Camp Bilal in Birwar, Tangkal, Lanao del Norte.
Ipakita natin sa buong mundo na ang program natin with OPA-PRU para sa tao at ipapil natin dito sa kanila, sa mga community, especially sa mga camps, na ang gobyerno, ang government, ang Republic of the Philippines, hindi pinapabayaan yung mga tao.
The DOST also urged the public to support the implementation of the program for the former MILF camps as it commits to maximize the use of digital technology and innovation to provide MILF communities with access to broader markets and economic opportunities. From the Philippine Information Agency, Sergeant, Shahana Duerme Mangasar, Balitang Pambansa.
And for our weather update, shear line is affecting the eastern sections of Visayas and Mindanao, while northeast monsoon is affecting Luzon. Mindanao, eastern and central Visayas may experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms. Cagayan Valley, Aurora, Quezon, Camarines Norte and Camarines Sur may experience cloudy skies with light rains. Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon may expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated light rains. Meanwhile, the rest of Visayas may also experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms caused by localized thunderstorms.
And that wraps up our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation on a TGI Friday. From Radio Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez, and to all brothers, Muslim brothers and sisters all across the world, happy Ramadan.
Shukran, brother. And you know what? Inshallah, because today is the moon sighting. In short, the moon was not sighted tonight. So, inshallah, the fasting will be starting on Sunday, and that's March 2. Allahumma baligh na Ramadan, advance Ramadan to all of us. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again next week at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripaudak, and this is
Balitang Pambansa.